Yo, what's up, y'all? You're now listening to Breaking Records Radio, and we have a special guest on the phone right now. Battle Axe Warrior, one third of the group, one half of the rapping portion of the group. Swollen members on the phone with us right now. How's it going, Prevail?
What up? Chilling.
How you doing, man?
Good, how are y'all?
Oh, we're good, man. Just chilling out, same thing.
Alright, so first question. For those people who don't know, who is Prevail?
Prevail is, like you guys said, one half of the rapping entity, one third of the four Swollen members. Also, independent entrepreneurial businessman and philanthropist.
And you guys just dropped a new album, Brand New Day, and I see that thing has literally been eating up the US and Canadian charts right now, man. Congratulations with that.
Thank you.
How's that feel, man? It's going big right now, eh?
Yeah, we're very, very excited. Obviously, anytime you can have the number one rap record in Canada, it's something to be proud of, and also proud of your country for having your back like that. And especially though when you can break some ground in the U.S. and our southern neighbors are picking it up as well and catapulted us up to the number 2 rap record in Canada, in the U.S. It feels pretty special.
Yeah, man, you guys beat out Eminem, I saw.
I saw that too, but I would say that
he's been out for a while.
The album wasn't released on the same day, so yeah. I think it was just that the freshness of the album being out in that specific time period, because that guy's the king. So just happy to be mentioned in the same sentence.
Yeah, it's insane.
Sure enough.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alright, everything I've heard off the album has been dope so far. Do you have any personal favorites of yourself?
Quite obviously, I'm stoked on the entire record. I mean, I think Brand New Day has been a great project for us. But I've been getting some good feedback from family and friends, and I think one of the songs that really stands out to them is Supernova. So I gotta say, internally, within the camp, that one's building a nice amount of buzz.
True. Word, man. I like the single you guys did for Power. That was a real dope track. Real dope beat by Rob as well. What inspired y'all to do that track all about power and, people misusing it? And
that was one of those ones, once in a while it happens where you hear a song and it just pops straight into your mind about this needs to be a topical song. And the chorus for Power, actually, it really wrote itself. I literally got to the studio, Rob started playing the beat, and I just grabbed a pen and paper, and the first word that came to me was Power is Powerful, and we just built it from there. And Rob is such a genius at providing the anchor. I mean, he's the anchor. He provides us amazing music for Mad and I to write lyrics over, and over the last couple of years, we've really been pushing each other as a unit to challenge not only ourselves, but to challenge each other and get us those dynamic beats with that rare understanding of music production that Rob has. And of course, that allows Mad and I to be as creative as we possibly can and keep pushing the envelope.
Yeah, Rob's production is tight.
He's a genius.
Yeah,
man.
What are some more music videos that we can expect from the album?
Well, I know there's a video for Cock Blocker in the works, so look forward to that one. It's gonna be pretty entertaining, and I think it should be a pretty interesting rendition of or version of the song. It should be a good accompaniment to the music itself. The visual presentation should be pretty interesting. So look out for that one. And then we've just been talking about what else we're going to shoot some stuff for. Matt's just moved down to LA, so I'll be utilizing my second apartment down there in Santa Monica, and we'll be shooting some stuff down there. And I think we'll shoot a couple more videos as well in Vancouver. But we definitely see a lot of potential for video accompaniment on this album.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's real dope. Alright, well, I'm going to take it back a little bit with this question. But I'm curious, how did y'all come up with the name Swollen Members originally? And who was the original lineup of the group back in the early 90s?
Well, it has gone through a few transformations, and actually we're sitting around one night in Vancouver, sitting around a table at Denny's. There was literally 15 underground Vancouver hip-hop heads, ranging from B-boys and B-girls, DJs. I mean, it was really the whole culture, MCs, graffiti writers, sort of sitting had, and we were sort of saying, okay, what's the name for the group going to be? And everyone put in their offerings, and Mocha had actually said Swollen Members, and of course everyone started to laugh, and went about 4 or 5 more people, and then someone stopped and said, you know what, that's a name that will stay in people's memories, and we just rolled with it, and it obviously to us means more of the idea that it's a growing family. Swollen Members is constantly growing and constantly adding to the family fold, as you see with the Battle Axe Warriors and Battle Axe Dimes, 6,000 members worldwide now, and growing every day, something that we're really proud of, and I'm really proud of Matt Chow for spearheading that whole movement and bringing it to a place of organization, which I think had been long awaited. But that's where the name came from. But again, it's hard to get a name in this industry where it registers with people and has some staying power, and I think we've been lucky enough to pull that off.
Most definitely.
You guys have a very close relationship with DJ Revolution. Throughout your careers, how'd you guys actually meet?
We met Revolution through our contact and brotherhood and friendship with Dilated Peoples, with Ev and Rock and Babu. Of course, Swollen has a long love affair with Southern California and NorCal. Mad living, of course, in the Bay Area. I had been living in San Diego, which is where I met our original DJ Zodak. So when you're asking about when it was formed in the late 90s, early 2000s, was Zodak was our DJ at that time and producer. So that's where I met Z, was down in the 619, and through those contacts and just years of sort of traveling back and forth, we met Dilated Peoples actually at the B-Boy Summit the first year that it went to LA.
Oh, wow.
And yes, we ended up, the last year it was in San Diego, the year before the first year it went to LA. And we met them there, and it was actually a very cool story. We walked to the gym, and Matt went out to have a smoke or something, and I ended up sitting next to this guy on the bench in the gym and said, hey, what's up, I'm Prevail for Full Members. He said, I'm Evidence from Dilated Peoples. And I said, yo, I love you guys, because I had just gotten one of their singles on a record compilation, and I said, yo, man, you guys are amazing. And I said, hey, I got beats, you want to come to the car and listen to some beats? We went to the car, listened to some beats. We came back in the gym, and Matt was talking to Rocka, so it was just Rocka Ira Science, so it ended up being one of those natural, universal situations where it was inevitable we were going to become friends for life.
That's crazy, man. That's real crazy.
Right.
Actually, I wanted to ask you about this as well, too. I was curious how the collab with the PMD and Sean Strange track came along. Like, how did it feel to get featured on a track by PMD?
Oh, you're talking about the
Boondocks one.
Clash of the Clash of the Titans one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was literally something that we got a call for, and I mean, what a great opportunity to be able to rap with one of the greatest rappers of the legend. And he's amazing. He was a great guy. We had a chance to chop it up with him for a couple minutes, and he was very gracious and what a figurehead, what an inspirational person. EPMD was basically the reason I started rapping. They're one of their backup dancers, around Got to Chill in those days.
Yeah.
They had this backup dancer named Steezo. My cousin came from the East Coast of Canada, from Halifax. He brought this tape called Crazy Noise and said, hey, you like rap music? I said, yeah, it's cool. I'm more of a rock guy. And he said, just listen to this tape, and played me the tape, and it was finished. I said, I want to do that. And so my connection to EPMD was right off the bat, because I was always one of those MCs. I always wanted to do my rap homework and see where the lineage of these people came from, and what neighborhoods they were from, and what was the difference between Queens and Bronx and Manhattan and Staten, Harlem. So where were these guys coming from? And I instantly found EPMD was one of the first rock groups I started listening to. So it was amazing to be able to meet P in person. And that I thought was just a fun compilation. We're the West Coast component of that track. It was well represented, obviously, by the TO factor, but it was nice to be the West Coast cats on that, and then of course be on it with a legend like P.
Yeah, that track's dope, and yeah, for sure, man. Like EPMD, one of the greatest. You can't get enough of EPMD, man. The whole history and everything.
Business never personal, baby.
Yeah, man. Business as always. Well, business as usual.
Business as usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're gonna change it up a bit. you just released an ale called Prevail.
Prevail, yeah.
And how did that come about?
Well, that started a few years ago. My friend and I were saying, oh, you know what, there's a beer built into your name. Well, let's see what we can do about that. So we literally about 5 years ago started making phone calls and calling people that we knew in the brewing industry, the hospitality industry, and started to make some connections. And, you know, I gotta be honest, there were some doors that were shut on us, some doors that were left slightly open. We explored all those avenues, and it took about 3 years for Red Truck. I should say it took 3 years for an entity to step up, and that was the great people over at Red Truck. Said, yeah, Prev, we see the vision, we believe in it, we believe in what you want to do with it. Let's do it. So we did 30 kegs that went to select establishments around Vancouver, and Sam Payne and I, actually, who works for Red Truck, ended up bartending at all 5 of the venues where the beer was being poured, and did sort of a celebrity-esque bartending evening, and raised some money, and some money from every pint went towards a local charity, which was for the Chelsea Steins Foundation. And then this year I was asked by Vancouver Craft Beer Week, the theme was 90s hip-hop, called It's a Rap, and they said, we know you like your craft beer, would you be into being the spokesperson for this year? And I said, absolutely, I'd be flattered. They asked me how I wanted to be remunerated, and I said, just start the conversation with the Prev Ale again. So they brought together the brewmasters from Central City and Phillips over on Vancouver Island, where I'm from, and they came together and did this beautiful 7% double California Common, and $1 from each bottle, and there were 7,200 bottles, that got distributed amongst BC liquor stores and cold beer and wine stores, 60 kegs around the city at amazing venues. So $1 from every pint, $1 from every bottle, and all that money goes to a charity which I'm one of the lead ambassadors for, called Music Feels, where we empower music therapists and enable them to get access to instruments, to iPods loaded with music for their patients, and be able to, you know, like I said, get music therapy, a valid part of the healing process for people who are in need of it.
Really?
Wow.
That's great, man.
Wow, man. That was deep.
That's amazing, bro.
Word.
I love to
Thank
see
you,
that
guys.
when people give back. That's the most important thing.
It's been something that I don't know if you guys ever saw the special, but many years ago I was in a position to go to Central Africa with George Strombolopoulos when he was still with Much Music, before his much credited rise to the platform he's at now. I'm so proud of him. And we went to Central Africa, to Zambia, and we did an HIV/AIDS documentary special for Much Music, and my eyes were really, really opened at that time, and it took me a while to find my grounding. I did some work with Care Canada, I did some work with Children's Hospital over those years, and again for the Chelsea Steins Foundation and various other charities around Canada. And when I was approached by Music Heals to be one of the ambassadors, it instantly registered to me. Of course, here's something that I can do that's close to my heart, obviously being an independent musician, and to be able to have it be community driven, but know that there's access all across Canada that we are able to help provide. And that's just something that, I mean, at the end of the day, you do realize you're in a great position to have a voice. You got to also not just celebrate that voice creatively, you also have to be philanthropic with it, because I believe it's an integral part of leaving a positive legacy.
Most definitely, man. I say you're a good you represent hip hop very well for Canada too, exactly. There's a great example for it, man. A lot of people need to follow that type of blueprint and need to be a lot more philosophical, as you were saying, because a lot of stuff is really dumbed down, man.
Yeah. It's an interesting landscape right now, but I mean, look, there's some amazing Canadian groups doing amazing things. I look at Sarah McLachlan's School for Music, and she's also one of the ambassadors for Music Heals. So there's someone who has really got a great platform and a wonderful voice, and just a really genuine, kind-hearted person. And she's been able to take it to another level by even opening a school foundation of her own. So she's being highly effective in that arena. I also know that, there's some people out there that are just raising money, doing good things, and a lot of the time it's not highly publicized, and I think it's nice. It's nice when it can be like that as well. It's because it doesn't. You're not waving a banner saying, "Hey, look at me! I'm raising money to do this, and look what a good person I am." Sometimes it's just about doing it for the knowledge that you're doing it. Of course, with the Prev Ale, we've got to get it out to the public and sell the bottles for it to do any good. So obviously we bring that to the public eye, but I think it's as much about that as it is about working behind the scenes and just doing it for the honesty of doing it.
Yeah, man. All right, well, I'm going to pull it up a little bit now, and we're going to talk about your career again, musically now a little bit. But a little while back, I'd seen some teasers for your solo album, Born to Reign, and I haven't actually seen anything about that recently. I was just wondering, is that still coming out, or did I miss it and it's rare and I can't get my hands on it, or what's happening with that?
No, it's still coming out. What happened is the beats by my man Raindrop from Saskatchewan, and we sat down and Rob and Matt and I listened to it, and I just had to ask myself a hard, honest question: can I make this better? And the answer was, yeah, we can make this better. So we always want to be careful that we're putting our stamp of approval and quality control on everything we do. Yeah. And for me, as I'm navigating my way through what it is to start up a solo career and have how do I celebrate my individual voice while still making sure that I'm strengthening the Swollen brand? And I look at Mad Child's solo career as a cue for what he's done by being able to establish himself while still being true to the brand of Swollen Numbers and Battle Axe. So as I'm navigating that, the songs are just getting better and better, and I want to be able to ultimately put out a release that I'm proud of and learn my pace and tempo for what it means to do the solo thing once in a while. So yes, it's a work in progress, but when it does come out, which will be soon, Rob and I are back in the studio next week, it will be soon, and it's almost done. So it will be exactly what it needs to be when it does come out.
Dope, man. And so I was correct to believe that Raindrop is producing all of it as well?
He's going to have a majority of beats on it. I am going to bring some of Rob Viking's genius into the fold. Yeah. And as we move forward, though, yes, Raindrop will be one of the producers that I love. The kid, he's a great guy. I love his beats. Yeah. And it's nice to have some diversity. So yes, he will be included in that conversation every time.
Sick, man. I'm really amped for that album.
Word.
What are some upcoming projects we can expect to see from Battle Axe Records in the near future?
Well, obviously, we're going to let Brand New Day get its due spin and make sure that we're pushing that as hard as we can for the life of the promotional leg of it, and then hopefully the Swollen listeners and the Battle Axe warriors and dimes help keep pushing that message along with us. But Matt's lining up for a new EP, which is, he just told me the name a couple days ago. He had just finalized on it. Excuse me, I can't remember it right off the top of my head. He mentioned it to me, and I thought, yeah, that's an awesome name. But he's got a single coming out from that EP called Blitzkrieg, video to follow, and then his next full-length album will be called Super Beast. So I believe that's done, and Rob's just kind of doing some of the arrangement on it. So that'll be the next couple of Battle Axe things, and then Born to Reign, and then we'll be back in the studio with the next Swollen record, recording it. It won't be released obviously until next year sometime, but we're looking at working on an EP as well to have out hopefully just before Christmas.
Sick, man, real sick. That's crazy, man. Mad's album. That guy just works, eh?
He does. He's not only a creative master, he's also a really, really good businessman with a great understanding of what the industry needs these days. So again, when I look at what's going to go forward with my solo stuff, I really look to him to continue being the mentor that he always has been to me.
Word. Alright, man, well, I would ask you what your favorite Swollen Members album out is, but I have a feeling you probably gotta say Brand New Day, correct?
To be honest, it's one of those things that's a little hard to judge, because I look at albums, of course, as complete bodies of creative work that we all put our final stamp of approval on, but when I'm talking about our own records, they're more for me albums where we decided to wipe that drawing board completely clean and start right from scratch and try to do something different. And so there's certainly albums that are turning points and points of reflection where you say we couldn't have gotten to making this album had it not been for the experience of recording and releasing the last project. And I think they're all stepping stones to a better understanding of always challenging yourself.
Very well put.
Do you mind me asking who's engineering majority of tracks for you guys nowadays?
That's Rob. Rob opened a studio in Vancouver called The Chamber.
Yeah.
And we record the whole album there. We record everything there. Of course, with Mad moving to LA, like I said, we'll be bouncing back and forth a bit, but The Chamber, as far as recording in Vancouver, that's our home.
Cool, man. Yeah, Rob's a genius. Like, I love a lot of the tracks nowadays are coming out like he's killing it.
Oh, he's what I love is, you know, some producers or beat makers, they get their one piece of gear and they swear by it and they don't mess with anything else, which is fine. But when you only have one tool, if you've only got a screwdriver and you have 12 screwdrivers with the same bit on the end, you're only going to be able to make a certain amount of furniture. Sometimes you got to go buy a saw and get a hammer and buy some nails. And I see Rob just constantly adding to his cachet of equipment, from things I've never heard of or knew existed to things that I'm a little more familiar with, Moogs and things like that. A lot of great keyboards, and he really loves that organic analog sound. Of course, we record digitally, but we've been talking recently about switching back over to tape and getting that real warmth that you can only get from analog recording. So his understanding of music and what gear does certain jobs is amazing, and he's always building upon that. So it helps sculpt and bring his sound into a level of progression.
All right, man. Well, we won't keep up too much more of your time, but I did want to ask you, if I was to check in your CD deck right now, what would I be most likely to see you bumping?
Well, I'm always bumping CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival. You can always hear that bumping in my crib. You can always hear some Gordon Lightfoot. You always hear opera. Always hear La Traviata by Verdi or La Boheme or something bumping at the crib. But we actually just on this recent trip, the radio director over at Sony, since we're now distributed by Sony, just gave me this album, this 20 original albums. I love the old school Jacksons, the OJs, Teddy Pendergrass, Patti LaBelle. So getting back into my Motown era of listening and just reconnecting with the roots in that way.
Word. So we might be hearing some soulful samples on the next Swollen project then.
Anything is possible, my brother. Anything is possible.
Alright, man. Well, before we roll out, you want to just let people know how they can find you everywhere, Twitter, if you got the Instagram, all the social networks, and tell the people how they can go find Brand New Day online and everything.
For sure. So all my social handles are Prevail. You can, of course, find Mad Child at Mad Child 57 and Rob at Rob the Viking. And as far as Brand New Day, it's hopefully still sitting up there on the Canadian iTunes leaderboard. US, it'll be up there as well. And those are the spots. Of course, you can check the Battle Axe Warriors site. They'll have all sorts of links flying and banners for it as well.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Likewise.
Take care, eh?
Take care.
All right, y'all. Peace out.
Peace, homie.